Absolutely.
Life is crazy. The world is on fire, but we prevail.
Yeah,
So we
absolutely.
are. Yeah.
Well, we missed
So,
you on book talk.
thank you so much. I'm trying to get back into it. Once things just kind of stabilize in my life, I'm having like a massive life transition and then moving out of state. So that's like huge. So
Yeah.
once that happens, then it's just full force back into the book talk space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll probably talk a little bit about some of those future plans you have for your books and everything. But before we get too far,
Yeah.
let me do the intro. So I'm Lynn Taylor. I'm an indie author interviewing other indie authors. And today we have Effie LaRoe, who is the author of The Magic Thief and the Whisper Heath. So we'll talk about
Sorry
that
about
book
that.
today, and we'll talk about just anything else. Honestly, I think I just realized I didn't send you any questions. This is the most scatterbrained I've been for a podcast, and I am so sorry.
No, that's okay. This is my vibe. This is the energy that I bring.
Love that. So
to
we're gonna
be
do
okay.
great.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So, the first thing I usually like to ask authors is what inspired you to start writing it to begin with?
Oddly enough, you've read the book and you know that it is quite grim. I describe it as a whimsical fantasy, but I started writing because my ultimate goal and dream is to illustrate and write children's books. So, which is like on the other side of the spectrum of what I'm currently doing, but that's what I wanted to do. So, growing up, we would have these little charts we would have to do at the beginning of the year in school, and it'd be like, where do you see yourself? What do you want to be? And consistently every year, I would put, I want to write books. And then also I put like want to be a unicorn or I want to be my older brother, but always throughout the years it was writing books. And so I just stuck with it and then ended up doing it. But I would love to get into children's books.
Yeah, no, I love that. And yeah, first, a lot of people really don't like, I never saw myself wanting to be an author or write books. Like that surprised me completely. It was like a total side thing. And a lot of people actually say that too. So the fact that you thought that super early on, like, no, I'm gonna be an author. You're like, I'm manifesting this right now. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
reading was just such a big part of my childhood, and it was one of the best gifts my mother ever gave me was the power to read and the encouragement to read. And she would just always fill my room with books. Or if she ever went to like a yard sale, she'd be like, I bought you a stack of books. And that just really grew my imagination. And I was like, I think I could do this too. So I love books and I love reading and I'm really enjoying writing. That's a big adventure, right?
Yeah.
Writing and then just learning more about yourself. So
Yeah,
I really love the whole thing.
absolutely. I mean, because all writers pour like pieces of themselves into their book. And so your book, The Thief and the Whisper Heath, what inspired you to get into that storyline?
So I started writing this book when I was in my early 20s. So like 22, 23. I'm currently 36. So I I was reading a bunch of like urban fantasies or urban fairy tales is what they were being marketed as. So like Holly Black was a huge influence for me, specifically her book Tithe. I would compare this book closely to Tithe. So I saw it and there were just things about that book that I wanted to see but wasn't happening. So I thought, I think I could do that. I think I could write a book where it has all of the elements that I want to read that's missing for me. But I didn't know that indie publishing could be a future for me or was a thing. So I was just writing it and taking forever and years and years and years and just growing it. And then finally, I abandoned the whole project and I was just like, life is too crazy. I can't just, spend time doing this. And finally, I was talking to a friend about how I had like an almost complete manuscript. And they said, okay, so what are you doing with that? And I was just like, what? What do you mean? And they're like, so you're not gonna do anything with that? Like you don't want to have people experience your characters, they're just gonna die. And so when they said it like that, I was just like, you know what, these characters do deserve to have their time in the sun and for people to experience that. And so with that, conversation, I went back and I changed a bunch of things and I added things. So this is almost like a time capsule of Effie through the years. But there's still a lot of like 20-year-old Effie in there, which I've struggled with because you change so much, right? Like every year, but a decade apart. Oh my gosh. So that's what got me into it was Holly Black, just being inspired and then the encouragement of friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, decade apart, you could, I mean, just going back and looking, you're like, I am not that person anymore. I've grown from that person, but you still left pieces of her in there, which I love that. Because like there's books I wrote when I was early 20s that will probably never see the light of day. Maybe like very small pieces of it, but like majority of it is trash in my mind, compared to where I'm at now. So I love that you kept pieces of that in there because that is your growth and that's your story. So I feel like this book probably will always be your main book baby. Like this will always have a huge part of your heart.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's a very like complicated relationship with this book because there are still elements of old Effie. There's things that I love, and then of course like that imposter syndrome or just I think every author sometimes just cringes at certain things or like, you're like, I can't read that. I can't read that. So I did think it was important to like honor past Effie and keep some things in there. So you're right. It is always going to be like a complicated but super special book because it was the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I really like too how you I've never heard it in that way where your friend was like, you're gonna let the characters die and not be shown because I'm actually currently struggling with a book right now that I just don't want to put out. And it's not even like a novel-based book, but I want to share it, but I don't want to share it. And I think that's like a selfish thing in a sense. Like we're scared to share some of our stories and stuff, but really it could help others or it your book could inspire others just like you were inspired by that other book. Like there's a whole chain of reactions here that we don't even know, and we just have to
Yeah,
get it out there and go with it.
absolutely. I thought that that was so interesting too, to use the word die. You're going to let your characters die. Doesn't
Yeah.
that sound just so final and bleak?
And that's
So,
essentially what they are, is they would just be sitting in a drawer somewhere. They wouldn't live the life that you've given them.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
I thought that was very impactful. So maybe somebody who's watching this will be like, oh shoot, might
Yeah,
as well put it out there. Yeah.
nice. I love that. Well, and so you have this story, and did you talk at yes. So it's been a while since I read it, so I'm trying to like bring it all back to me.
Yeah.
So there is going to be more, right, to the story, or
Yes.
okay.
Yes. So this is book one in a four-part series. As you know, this book is set in autumn.
Mhm.
So
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's four seasons. The next season that's going to be featured is spring. So we're starting in autumn, then we're going to go to spring, and there's some novellas that are also in between those books. So it's a very ambitious project.
Yeah. That I'm very
Yeah.
excited for that. And you also talked on a live. She does really amazing lives, by the way, which I know you kind of paused those for a bit, but they were really fun.
Yeah.
And like if I saw you were
Thank
on, I
you.
jumped on it immediately. I do it with Alan too. Like anytime
Thank
you guys
you
are
so
on.
much. You know what? You add such a fun energy, and then just to see you interacting with everybody in the comments and getting everybody involved. You're doing it now. You do it all the time on TikTok and just in the book space. And to have you be a part of that with me just makes everything so special and it's so fun. So I have like, my people that I see join, and every time I'm just like, TA, TA books. So when you do like join, it's so
Yeah,
special. And I
I love it.
appreciate you so much.
I
Yeah.
get so excited. Well, in your guys' conversations, I've hopped on a few lives here and there, and like they are hit or miss on some people's, but like every single time the conversation is just on fire. Like I think there's just a certain group of people that come in and always
Yeah.
Oreos are brought up, which I think is hilarious. Like I'm pretty sure in the Discord we have an entire channel for Oreos, and that is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
probably the most popular conversation.
And the most heated debate is
Yes,
Oreo.
but it's
Oreo game.
great. And so, yeah, I
Yeah.
just love the communication there. And like, even with Alan's, I hop on his because he'll have a question of the day. Like, I like those engagement question things where it's not just watching someone just mindlessly doing something and they're not paying attention. Like, you guys are
Yeah.
engaged too, and you're talking, and like, he will. We actually had one, we talked about Oreo, sorry. We had one where he was playing a game, and I hopped in because he had the question of the day was about an Oreo. And I hopped in and started asking about it. He paused the game and stopped and turned and was like me and him and another person were just going on this whole thing. And like that's fun too. So I love
Yeah.
your guys' energy as well.
I love Alan. I'm a big Alan stan. I will go to battle for him. I will go if whenever he publishes his books. Come on, Alan. Come
Yes,
on. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be
he's already
like
got
reading all of his
cheerleaders.
stuff, showing up to his book signings. I just so supportive.
Yes. Well, maybe we need to tell him that his characters are just going to die if he doesn't get them going. He's got to breathe
You
the
know
life
what?
into them.
Yeah, let's give him a complex.
You have a time limit now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, and like I what I really love about the community too is that everyone is so supportive along the entire process. And so like yeah, Alan hasn't published his yet, but he can see us who have published books and like yes, we have the imposter syndrome. We have the writer's block. It happens, life happens, and sometimes you got to take a break and sometimes you just got to push past it and go for it.
I want to say something because you are incredible. You're incredible. You're a partner, a mama, a friend, and an author advocate, and you do so much. And you have how many books published?
8.
Eight.
Yes.
Eight. She has eight. Jeez Louise. I'm so inspired by you, and I don't know how you do it. What's the secret? How do you pump out all these
Oh
books?
man. Well, okay, so I low-key have 57 book ideas. Like I went through this whole spiritual journey and opened up my mind to everything and let go of a bunch of just crap basically and immediately had downloads all of these ideas and I'm just writing them down and as I wrote them down, I got more and so like I have like 50 ideas. So I'm good until I die. But
Oh, I
it's
love it.
I want to write the stories. I want to get them out there. I want to have the time to do that. But like life and kids and 9 to 5 job. And so that's my goal is really trying to push that to be my job is the writing part and helping authors. And
I
so
believe in you.
I'll say actually a little side thing, I don't have to keep this in, but right now I'm working on a brand with G. Edward Martin. I don't know if you've seen him. And we're
No.
launching it very soon. October 4th was the official launch day. But this entire month, like I'm gonna film like bulk film tonight. This entire month we're gonna advertise about it. So it's called bookvision.net and it's a place that has resources for indie authors at any stage in the writing journey. So like we have if you're starting it, we have if you've just published it and you need to promote it, we have if you just want to grow section. Like we've got so many things. And we do book
Wow.
trailers, and I would low-key love to do your book trailer. I think it would look so awesome.
My gosh, I would be honored. I
I
would
would
love to
love
chat more
to.
about that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I would love that. Do you guys you're going to be going live with it soon?
Yeah,
You
so
were
it's
saying?
it's
Okay.
on it's up now, and so I'm gonna be posting like schmivvies and like really getting the engagement for the next so many weeks, and then October 4th is like the official cutting the ribbon day or party day or whatever we're gonna do. But yeah, I'm so excited because I think this can be huge. Like I have featured artists and so like featured book cover artists, featured influencers. Like you will have there'll be so many other people in there and just like the community and all in a different place.
I'm so excited to support you. Anything you do, I'm going to support you. I think you're just such a ray of sunshine, and
Appreciate that.
this community would be missing such an important part. And I'm just so excited to continue to be your fan and to stalk your career or whatever.
Stalk away. No, and I
Yeah,
want
it's really
everyone to like
exciting.
rise all together. Like I would absolutely love to see all of us just thriving with stuff. And I know you took your break and that happens and that's totally fine. But I
Yeah.
still would love to see your books out there and I'd love to see like let's side thing here. You have the children's book you were talking about on your live one time that you did want to or you were starting to do. And were you already starting to illustrate it with your dot art?
So I think I made that a little confusing for people.
Okay.
So that the Pointalism art
Mm,
pieces, those are for a novella, an adult themed novella called Limerence. But if I did do a children's book, I would definitely incorporate some of the little dots. Just this one has like some creepy imagery that's probably a little too mature for like little kids. I'm not trying to scar them for life, but there are some pretty pictures too. But
yeah.
yeah, so those are just going to be featured in the novella because as an indie author, why not?
Yeah.
Who's going to
Why
stop
not?
us? We could do whatever we want.
I
That's
feel
the
like
beauty of it.
what I got from your, because you had shown a few examples of what you were working on, like while she was live, she was sitting there doing it. And it was amazing. Like the fact that you can even see that picture in your head and then put it down like that in pointillism, I'm just blown away by that. That's a talent.
Thank you. Thank
But
you so much.
yeah, they were gorgeous, and I kind of get the feel of like a Tim Burton vibe, and I hope that's not offensive because
Oh, not at
okay,
all. I think that's just what's within me.
yeah,
Like a whimsical queen, you
yeah.
know, just a little creepy on the inside.
Well, and like actually, kids really love the Tim Burton vibes. I mean, like they have the creepy aspect, but I feel like they still have that like the kid like feel to them that people love, and like they love probably more like preteens and teenagers, and even some adults still love some Tim Burton stuff. So like, I think you could still hit a good variety of audience with your books with that.
Oh, thank you. I do want to incorporate more art because I feel like everybody has little hidden talents. And so it took me until adulthood to claim the title of artist or to even show my art. So now I'm like, I'm 36. Who cares? Like
Mhm.
just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Well, and if you ever wanted to have like we have a graphic artist section on our website, if you ever wanted to feature yourself and get some clients, it's literally just like a little ad block. And
Oh, so
we
cute.
would love to advertise that because I think that's the big thing with like book talk is there's so many people with so many hidden talents. Like HM Mast, I don't know if you've seen her.
Love
She's
her.
my book cover artist now.
She did the cover for Limerence.
Oh, oh,
I
have
know.
you revealed it yet? Because I want to see it so bad.
I haven't revealed it yet.
Okay,
So,
I'll wait for it.
we, she was just like, she gave me the option, right? The first one, and then I improved it and she made some tweaks to it. But she said, since you're in the middle of writing this book, and I'm so excited to read this book, I want to make sure that we get the vibe right. So, once you're done with the book, let's meet back up and let's see if this is still something that is going to apply to the book. And I cannot thank her enough for just having that artistic mind and like the foresight because there's one thing about the cover that I really want to tweak that is going to be better suited for the book. But
Mhm.
I love HMS. So she's a featured artist.
Yes, she's my first one I just got on, and she was so excited. And I was like, "Ugh, I really want to give you more clients. I want to give you the support because your work is beautiful. Like, and she's so collaborative and like the communication is wonderful because she did the same thing with me. I wrote a memoir for my grandma, and I got because I was really struggling with the book cover, and so I reached out to her, and she nailed it the first time, just beautiful. And then I sent it to my grandma, and she was like, "Okay, well, hold on. I'm kind of going through, now that she's read her memoir, she's like, I want to like dive into some letters and stuff." And so she's taking her time with that. And I reached back out to HMS. I'm like, I can't give you the rest of the information because I don't know how big the book is. And she's like, just whenever. Like it could be 5 years from now, whenever. And I'm like, thank you.
I love her.
I love
I'm
her too.
obsessed with her. So there's some authors here on like I have your address. I would never disclose that information or your PO box. I also have HM Mass address and I sent her like some little gifts,
Mm,
because I'm just like I see how hard she is working
yeah.
and just with like her being so active online and then she has her other book coming out and then her other book she's working on and she's also a mama. So I see her out there and I was just like, let me send her some gifts and show her some appreciation because
Yeah.
she definitely deserves it.
Yeah, that's so sweet. That see, and I love this community so much. And like again, there's just so many little there's extra talent all over the place. And I think her being an author really helps for her to see that, like you said, where she was like, hold on, let's wait till you're done with the book because then you can have a better visual of that. Not a lot of book cover artists who just do graphics would understand that as well. Or they're
Right.
just trying to get through the client and move on. Like
Mhm.
I think the community having all these special extra talents can be very helpful for each other.
I think so too, because I do have some friends that are traditionally published, and when they talk about the process, they don't have the luxury to do that. It's like okay, and then some don't even have any input about the cover at all. So it's good to be an indie author. Some people, the goal is to be trad, and that's the only goal, and that's the only way that it can be. But there's so much beauty and freedom in being an indie author, and
Yeah.
that's one of them.
Well, and I feel like For me, at least, I didn't even know that was a thing. I did not even know the first 5 books I had published out there that I was an indie author. I didn't know that was a term. I didn't know there was a community, like that there was other people like me. And so maybe that is a lot of it too, where people go to publish a book and they're like, I just have to find a publisher. And if that's the route, that's the route. But there is another route, and it's pretty beautiful. It is a lot of work, but it's pretty beautiful too.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy that you said that because it is not all rainbows and sunshine. There's storms and crying and fires and earthquakes, but there's so much more to that. It's hard work
Yeah.
because you're a team of one for everything,
Yeah.
but definitely worth it. I think if somebody's willing to put in the energy and the time, totally worth it.
A little compliment for you. I low-key envy your videos, the creativity you put into your videos advertising your book. I want to aspire to that level. Like
Thank
I
you so
you always
much.
have a new vibe to it. You always have these like little funny or not funny, but like the way you sit there with the text and you just dance around with your book. Like the way you do all of that, I could not even imagine it. I'm like, oh, I love that. That's such a good video.
Thank you. I want to give big props to ADHD. I think
We
and
can thank
caffeine.
ADHD.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's so encouraging to really just dive back into it. Um, just like you mentioned, you said that you bulk record. I have so many bulk recordings where I'm just like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, because I just want to have the opportunity when I do have downtime to edit those and then have them available and put them up there. Because just like you said, I did take a big break, but I'm getting back into it. So that's really encouraging. And as
Yeah.
soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna like get onto a CapCut and just be like doing
Bulk
a bunch of
record.
stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For sure.
Well, and you do good with the marketing side, but I will say too, another compliment is that I really did love, I think you were one of the first people that I saw that did very real, raw videos where you came on, and this is like before you even published this book, that you thought at one point about not publishing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, wait, don't. Like you're right here. You're there. Let's just go. And so just showing that rawness of like the imposter syndrome or thinking that, because it's a big step, putting your heart and your soul into a book and then putting it out there. And so being raw like that, I think did help inspire other people. And it just
Wow.
was a different view of from some of the marketing videos I'd seen. That was just a different take on it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's a wonderful compliment.
Of course. Well, and that kind of sides into another question I ask a lot of people is if
Mhm.
you had a new indie author approach you and they said, what's like one piece of advice what would you give them?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I would say take your time. It's not a race. So take your time and also formatting is important. I hired a formatter, Brady Moeller from Fiverr. I cannot recommend him enough. But just either learning how to do that and starting off with that so that way it's nice and clean and that way you don't have a full messy spaghetti plate of a manuscript where you have to go back and fix that. So I would definitely say just it's not a race. Take your time.
Hmm.
Go slow.
Yes. No, I really do love that advice. Yes, because I think I've talked to multiple people on TikTok from different stages, and a lot of it in the beginning is that they're just like, I have to write it, I have to publish it like immediately. I'm like, I think it's hard to realize that a book would take a minimum of basically a year to really get it down and perfect it and clean it and make it look as best as you can, and you still will put it out and you still will have errors. Like it's gonna
Oh
happen.
my gosh. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. They bless the first like 60 people who bought this book because there's been so many evolutions since it's been published. So I can't even tell you how many versions there are out there, but absolutely. Isn't that such a pain when you're like, okay, published it, great, feel good, and then you open it and then it's just like, what? I think you messaged me and you're like, hey, just so you know, there was like a random word that was capitalized in the middle of a sentence, and I was just like, yeah, that checks out. That definitely checks
Well, and
out.
I try to do that anytime I read an indie author book. And like, I highly recommend any readers out there, if you read an indie author book, first off, have patience with us. Because there's like 100,000 words in a book, and we've
Yeah.
read it we could read it 12 times back to back to back, and our brain literally will just completely look over those errors because you've read it.
Yeah.
It's like reading fatigue. And so anytime I read an indie author book, I do try to make a note of any errors I see and send it to them. And because I know how that feels, and like, yeah, if I can
Yeah.
help be a second set of eyes for you, like I'm already reading it. So
I appreciated that so much.
yeah, of
I
course.
really, really did. And you know what? HMS, go back to her because we love her. She had said something really beautiful. I was talking to her about like being really upset about having so many typos, or like there's some syntax issues, or just things like that. And she said, you know what? I get really excited when I see a typo in a book because that's a human touch.
Mm,
This shows me that there wasn't a robot doing this. This is a human error, and it's beautiful. So personally, I love when I see errors in books. And
yeah,
so I was just like, wow, what a great way to look at that, and just to allow yourself grace to be like, I am one person.
yeah.
Thank you so much. But and also I'm really happy that you said be patient with that, because at the beginning of this and the beginning of TikTok, and I was finding out what ARC readers were and beta readers and everything. I had a group of ARC readers, and they were just the expectations were purely with the limited information from a trad published author's capability and resources. So that was just like a big eye opener, like, wow, not everybody knows the whole indie process. So definitely, please be patient
Yes.
with indie authors. Okay,
Yes.
we're trying our best.
Well, and I have a little bit more of a aggressive thing that someone told me one time, and I was like, I'm gonna keep that for my own motivation, but they said, where's their book? Like, if they haven't, for some readers who haven't, I mean, again, I would never say that to somebody, but I keep that in my mind because I have to remember
Yeah,
that, like, perspective wise, some readers have never even touched the process at all, and that's fine if they're not writers, but there is a lot of steps to it, and they're just not going to understand it. And so, like, when you have the negative reviews, or you have anyone commenting, like, oh, you have a bunch of errors, like, I'm first off human, and second off, like, it's a lot. It's a whole thing.
yeah,
It's a year long or more, or 10-year long process, and it takes a lot out of you. And so, yeah, it happens.
yeah. I like that. I'm gonna file that away.
So we did talk about your book now that you have, your future books for that series, your novellas that come off of that, your kids book. Did you want to kind of dive more into the kids book idea?
So that one is going to be like a very tender and precious project. So I have like little ideas here and there, but nothing super solidified yet. I'm focusing more on trying to get the rest of this series out. There's so many people, readers, that will not read a book until the series is
Mm.
completed. So I've had maybe like 30 people ask, oh, is this a standalone? And so I said, no, it's the first book. And they're like, that's really disappointing because I don't read, I read series. So when do you think that's going to be completed? I'm like, all right, I don't know. Yeah, so I really want to focus on just getting the last three books for that out at the very least
Mhm.
before I dive into the kid stuff. And my partner, my boyfriend, he is an author too and an artist. So I would love to like maybe co-write a children's book with him. I think that'd be so special.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I think, and again, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you commented where I was asking for someone with a map, like they make maps in books. Is he the one that does that? Or
Yeah,
maybe you
yeah.
put that in a video or something. I was like, ooh, now I have another resource to go to.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I think I sent someone his way. I can't remember. I had someone who asked me if I knew of someone who drew maps and books, and then your video just happened to pop up, and I was like, hey, you guys want to talk? So I don't know if that conversation went down or not, but
Yeah, he has tutorials. And then he just published his book where it's a nonfiction book where it tells you and gives you tips on how to make your own map. So if you're an indie author, that is such a great resource. I wish that I had that before I made my map because he's gonna redo my map. Yes.
I
I'm
liked your
excited for
map.
that.
I do
Thank you
remember the
so
video you did
much.
where you were showing the proof copy. Now, let me see if I can pull up the map. But you're doing the proof copy and you're like, well, so it got messed up because Amazon like cut it off or something crazy. I don't know if it's gonna show it. Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
you have
like
a good
right
you
in the
have a good
middle
map.
here, it like had half of it on one side and you were just like,
Yeah.
no.
Oh my gosh. And then the way that it was cut off, it didn't say like summer or winter. It said were and sir.
Oh yeah, yes.
So it's hilarious. So I'm happy that I took the time to, move things around and have that fixed as best as it could be, up until the point where it was getting ready to be released
Yeah.
to the public.
Oh, that's so exciting to work on those books and kind of dive back into that world and dive back into the character. So are you excited for that or is it a little overwhelming or both?
Really excited. I'm really excited. So I know what happens completely. I have the rest of the three books um, outlined, and I know every point that I need to hit. I just need to take the time to sit down and do it,
Hmm.
which easier said than done. We're like such a fast-paced world that it's difficult to have the time to just sit down and get in the zone because then it's like Effie, I need this, or you got to do this, or we got appointments that we got to go to. So it's just finding the time.
Yes. Well, then you have to remember for me, it's like, did I eat today? Have I drank water? How much sleep
Oh
have
my
I
gosh,
gotten? Like,
posture check. Like even right
yes,
now, going into
yes.
full gremlin mode, I need to like put the shoulders back.
I did that earlier too. I was like, oh, gotta sit up.
That was a good
Okay,
one.
so we do have 10 more minutes. Well, we have 7 minutes left. So what I like to do in the last 7 minutes is for sure I want to do your plugs of like where they can find you on social and your books are on Amazon and if you had any other like website, any other places you want to send people to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm Effie LaRoe on everything, on TikTok, Instagram. I do have a website which I'm going to be updating. You can subscribe to that. Eventually, I'd like to get to the point where it has a bunch of stuff. But if you go to the website, that's where you're going to see like book covers first or blurbs first. So that's fun. I also have a YouTube channel, which I think I'm going to utilize for more long form content, like how I world build. Advice that I would give to indie authors. So something that's longer than just like the TikTok couple seconds. But I would say TikTok and Instagram. I'm trying to grow my Instagram. So I post pictures kind of and like little tiny micro vlogs, of just my life outside of that. So you can find me at Effie LaRoe.
Yeah, I love all that. And I will say too, we do have on our website the little blog section. I'm having other indie authors write if they have anything that they can think of, like just writing like kind of like the advice to another indie author or just things that you've noticed. So if you ever are inspired and want to write just like a little piece of something that you wish like
Oh,
someone would have told you, I would happily take
yeah.
it. I post your links and everything back to you so they still come back to you in the same at the same time.
I would love that. I think that's so helpful to have just so many different perspectives. And
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
so helpful because that helped me getting to see everybody's experience on TikTok. I was just like, oh, wow. Because I wouldn't be where I am without the community,
Oh my gosh,
period,
yeah.
point blank. Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I want to do on there too, where I have like right off the bat, you see the name and then you see the books that they have. And so that if it's a blog about imposter syndrome, but she has like 7 books, like obviously imposter
Yeah.
syndrome doesn't have an effect on her. But really, yeah, everyone has that. Like I still hit it at my 8th book or
Yeah.
9th book. Like it happens. And so people can see that relatableness of where they're at in this in the journey too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I also like to do at the last few minutes your artworks. Did you want to do that? I know we,
So I'm unprepared. I
that's
had
okay.
this idea. My words were cord, monstrous, and habitat. So I was gonna draw a picture of a bear in its habitat playing like a guitar chord.
Ooh, I love that.
But I'm unprepared. So I'm currently not in my house or my state. I'm in my boyfriend's house, and this is his setup, like I mentioned earlier. So I just was wildly unprepared.
No, you're good. I like the visual though. Like every single person has brought something different, and there's actually been a handful of people that came here and they're like, I completely forgot about that part, and so they just made it up on the fly, and it's all been beautiful. So I love that visual.
Yay!
I love it's kind of crazy too, just giving authors 3 words and seeing where their mind goes. Like when those words popped up, I was like, these are gonna work for her. She's gonna think of something I know she is. And you did. You thought of something really funny.
Thank you.
anything else big in the author world or for you in general that you just kind of want to like sneak out there? Any like special announcements you want to get out there?
So my next two, first, like we're on the horizon of publishing these two novellas. I have the prequel in the same universe, different timeline called Forenoon. It's part of this universe, and then also Limerence, which is a standalone novella about a dream and a nightmare falling in love and what that looks like and what it entails. And I love that project. It just takes a lot out of me. But so far there's that, and then book two of The Magic Thief and The Whisper Heath. It's called The Magic Thief and Oath to Keep. Will be coming out next year. So,
Nice. I
yeah.
love all of that, but really like I you talked about the Limerence one before and I'm still just really in love with that and like curious to see how you did that. The Nightmare and the Dream. I
Thank
love that idea.
you. Thank you.
Well, we can actually end it. I did think of one more question. We can end it with who is your favorite character from your book and why?
Easy. Okay, so there's a talking animal in this book. His name is Kark, and he is a stoat. He is hilarious. He's the comic relief, and the way that I got that name, I went to Starbucks with my friend Mark, and the barista said, "Okay, is that with a K or a C?" And he said, "Oh, it's with a C." So instead of Mark, they said, "Kark, your vanilla latte is ready, Kark," and we died laughing. And so he was actually one of the first characters that came to life was Kark. So he's very funny. He has a very important part in the entire universe, and people either love him or they hate him. They're like, "Oh, that weasel is so annoying," which if you read the book, Kark would hate being called a weasel. He's a stoic.
I don't know how anyone hates him. I loved him. Like I'm so
So
happy you
much.
said that because
Green flag. That's a green flag.
I loved him. No, I don't think there was one that I was just like I loved all of them, but he stood out to me the most. That anytime he popped up, I was like, "What's he gonna say next?" I
I
wanted
love
that comedic comic relief.
And Leo, I would
Mhm.
marry on sight. Like I'm getting on one knee and I'm proposing to Leo because he's book husband, book soulmate. I
Yeah,
get a lot of Leo fans for sure.
yeah. Well, and I will say we have less than a minute. One of the other things that I love about your story is that you make her go through some crazy things that like even I only read the first of Akatar, but like even that one was pretty tame compared to some of the stuff your girl had to go through. And I was like, dang girl, like you
Hi,
struggling.
baby. Yeah, she really does, right? Because I wanted to do a realistic version where she's not the chosen one. She gets thrown into this whole different world and she has to navigate this culture, and she's a human. She's
Mhm.
not Fae. So she's completely in a new world and lost. And that was a device used to make the reader uncomfortable too, where
Yeah.
she's like, I have no idea what's going on. And so that builds frustration because that's what she's going through.